What's up, print fam? Welcome back to the print shop. Today we're working on an ACM sign. I hate these, but they make a lot of money. So we're gonna do it, and I'm gonna show you how I do it. First things first, we gotta do the artwork. So we gotta do the artwork, then we need to print it, and then we need to cut it. And that's kind of that simple. The reason I don't like doing it is the cutting process. It makes a mess. It is what it is. We gotta do it. Good profit, good video. So let's get into the first part, getting the artwork ready. I already have the artwork here. Pretty basic artwork. You can see we got the magenta line around here that is the cut line. We have that as a separate path, if I can show you over here. So it's a separate layer, separate path. So we have artwork here, the cut path here. The next thing we need to do is add the registration dots. When we do that, it's going to add another layer automatically. And Summa just has a really simple tool that adds them automatically. So click Summa Go Produce, add registration dots, and boom, it puts them on there. Sometimes if your artwork has like a clipping mask, it'll actually put them outside of the clipping mask. But in this case, we are all good. So typically what I'll do at this point is I will shrink this down, because when I print on my Canon, it actually uses the artboard as where to originally align it. So if I left the white bars, it would print this in the middle of the ACM sheet, and I want it to register at the bottom left. So I shrink it the best that I can. First thing I do is I turn off the cut layer, and I will save this as a PDF. Then I'll come back, I'll turn the cut layer on, delete the artwork layer, and I'll save this as a PDF, but I'll save this directly to the Summa flatbed. So this is what will be used to read the registration dots and to cut out the ACM. I'll get that saved, and we'll get the printer warmed up and get it printed. We've got everything set up here in the printer. So we can see I try to name it whatever it's going to be printed on. That way Taylor knows what we're printing, gives you a preview of what you're printing, where you're printing it. You can adjust it, so if we wanted, we could drag it up. We can also adjust the size or the placement here. You can adjust how many copies. You can change the overprints. You can mirror the image. There's not a lot you can do from the actual computer, but it's more of just, hey, this is what's going on. Through Onyx, you can also put printer notes that'll show up here. But once we've got everything set up here, then we make sure we've got the material on the printer. Some materials you need to clean. This is one of them, so we wiped it off with rubbing alcohol. We've just got a magnet here with a spray bottle, and then we've got a cloth that we rub it with. So once everything is prepped and ready to go as far as the material, you come over to the printer, click print, set the thickness, which in this case it already is correct, 3 millimeters, and confirm print. And now you can push start print from here, or this button right here will confirm the print. Then what's going to happen is, because there's a white space, it's going to calculate that white space, and it's going to skip it and then start the printing. Now that the sign is all printed, we'll take the sign over to the Summa and cut it. For the Summa, we need to switch to the router tool and then put a protective mat down on the bed. So we'll get that done and we'll show it to you cutting. We've got the sacrificial mat put on the Summa. Now we need to put the spindle attachment on in slot 2 and 3, and then put the board on and get it all cut. I'm going to get the spindle swapped out, and then we'll get it all cut. You can see the sacrificial mat is being sacrificed. Now that the sign is all cleaned up, we've got the mess that we've got to clean up, plus we have all of the edges that we need to go through and just clean off so that it can be prepped and ready for the customer. But the sign is now all finished. As you can see, cutting it with the Summa makes a massive mess. which is one of the reasons I don't like to print signs. I am not really set up for it. I don't like having to clean up the mess. If I had two cutters, that one could be like the messy cutter, then it'd probably be a lot easier. There's actually a local business here that they do signage across the United States. They ship almost everything. They do big events, and they actually have 4 zoomed cutters. 2 of the zooms are in their messy room, and it's closed off. It's sealed from the rest of the building, so to speak. Like, it's got dust curtains, and it's their messy room. They've got the 2 zoomed routers in there that's for cutting the ACM acrylic and the messy stuff. And then they have got 2 that they use for the fabric, vinyl, etc. So if I was set up more like that, then I'd probably be willing to do it more. And I've got a video explaining why I still outsource ACM signs most of the time coming soon. So make sure you're subscribed so you can understand that mentality a little bit more. If you have questions about the ACM signs, let me know. But before you leave, let's talk about the numbers. This job required ACM, ink, Canon print time, and Summa cut time. I'm gonna not include the Summa and the Canon time because it's not really relevant. It's all covered with the overhead of my shop, so we'll leave that out. The ACM sheet cost me about $50. The printing is $4.52, but I actually did 2 layers, so we'll round that up to 10 bucks. So $60 for the hard costs of goods. Other than that, we've got artwork time and labor to actually do the job, so we'll round that up to $100 total in expenses. This job I charged them $350, and that does not include install or delivery or anything like that. They've got to pick it up from me. I don't do install. I don't want to do install. They knew that beforehand. Yet at $350, they still purchased the sign from me. So this sign has a $250 profit, which is pretty awesome. It's where the signage can make sense. You can make a lot of money, or I guess a lot of margin, a lot of profit on a product. But the thing that shies me away from it, again, is how messy it is. Again, if you have questions about signage, I'll do my best to answer it, or find someone to answer it for you, or make another video about it. Thanks as always, print fam, and we'll see you in the next one.